are you willing to do what God tells you to do? Like, once you've sought his face and he gives you an answer, are you willing to do it?
This day that God has given me, I'm not gonna waste this joy deep down inside me. I'm not gonna shake.
Hi y'all, I'm here. Okay, so I wanted to have a little talk, a little conversation, and I first wanted to pour it over into the weekly reflection as I usually do. But I thought, no, let's really, pour it into this video. I don't even know what sort of video this is gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be a self-care vlog or a book vlog or a normal vlog. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out as I go, because y'all, this week was more of like just getting into routine, schoolwork, work in general, and also just like kind of like getting back into the groove of stuff. Because last week, leading into this week, I was just taking it step by step. Whenever I was like, okay, I gotta take a step back, I took my step back, and in the process of doing that, there were some things that either went a little bit slow, or I had to momentarily put on pause, and I had to like get back on track with this week. But it's fine. We thank the Lord for everything, and at the end of the day, we're here. So y'all, I don't even know why this shit keeps spinning around, but it's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be another new segment that we are gonna give a try, and we're just gonna see where it goes. I felt like starting this segment through the leading of the Holy Spirit, and yeah, I pray and hope that it touches you and teaches you a lot more too. Obviously, I'm still gonna find out like which setting hits more. I'm just trying out different sections. I'm just trying to make it like comfy, as if you're like on the phone with your homegirl, with your sis, because obviously you still need to make yourself presentable, but I still feel like it's very important that you feel relatable to the person that you're watching, because it's one thing to watch someone explaining something to you where you're like, I don't see how you would be doing that, and it's another thing to watch another person who is explaining stuff and you can really see like where they're coming from. You can really see that they have also gone through it and they're really like explaining it out of experience. So yeah, now I didn't have any specific topic to talk about. I just like wrote a bunch of like topics, honestly, and I'm just gonna take the one which I feel like really just reflected like in my everyday life, honestly, this week especially. I was just really just praying and just talking to God. I was really just like, God, like help me to remain focused on you, to keep you in the middle of every single thing that I do, regardless of things not necessarily like going the way that I might want it to go. I trust in you. So with this segment today, I really just want to really put an emphasis on considering God in all you do, in the decisions you make, your thought process, school, work, life, your finances, every single thing that has to do with you, include God in it. Because if it was not for him, you'd not even be standing here today. And that's why it's so important to do that, because it also helps you to like to be able to prevent making some decisions that could have been avoided if you had just included him in it. And the thing is, how to do those type of things is to start with the small things, such as, okay, God, there are 3 roads in front of me, like literally, as in you're going somewhere and there are 3 different roads leading to the same place. And you just ask God, God, which road do you want me to take? Because it could be, if you take road A, you somehow, God forbid, end up in an accident. If you take road C, you're gonna meet some people that are not really the nicest and are gonna bother you, whereas road B is the road that you're supposed to take. Now let's say you, for example, like didn't like ask God like which road to take, and you decide to take road C. Obviously, once you've taken that road, you probably have something like, you know what, I could have avoided this if I had asked God for his guidance and asked him to like help me. Do you get what I mean? And that's why it's so important to like, just always seek his face at the crossroad before you even take a step, before you even make a decision. That's why Matthew 6 verse 33 says that you should seek his kingdom and the rest will follow. Because now if you don't seek him, if you don't seek his face in the decisions that you make, sometimes you might get lucky, and even that's not necessarily you being lucky. It's just God still doing his will. stuff might go different, but like sometimes it could go really, really wrong, and you have a lot of regrets thinking, why didn't I seek him? Why didn't I just ask God, what do you think about this? Because at the end of the day, this is a relationship. It's not a religion. It's faith. It's you believing in God. It's you, talking to him having a say. You don't have a relationship with somebody you don't even allow to like, I don't even know how to put it. Basically, the way I see it, if you have a relationship with somebody, you're gonna allow them to have a say in your life, like be able to like express their thoughts and tell you what they think. Obviously there are way other things that also come into perspective when it comes to relationships, but these are one of the main things. And you can't say that you have a relationship with God if you're not including him in anything, if you're not even listening to what he has to say. Do you get what I mean? Because that's where communication comes into. So for me, the way I say it's like, look, you can't say that you want a relationship with God, but that you don't ask for his input. You don't ask him, God, what do you think about this? Should I go this way or should I go that way? And the other part that comes into it when you're like, okay, God, what do I do? The next part is, are you willing to do what God tells you to do? Like, once you've sought his face and he gives you an answer, are you willing to do it? Because the thing is, a lot of us always think like, I want to do this or that or whatever the case might be. And once the time comes that you actually need to do what you got to do, that's when everybody suddenly stands still. Like, we all want to be Christian until the point comes where you're actually supposed to be doing what makes you an actual Christian, which is to obey God alongside other stuff too. If God tells you to go left and everybody's going right, you best believe that you go left. Because what works for other people will not necessarily work for you. Everybody has their different destinies. If in this case and in this context and in this scenario, God's telling those bunch of people to go that way, then so be it. But if he's telling you to go the other way, you go and do that. Because if you don't do that and you land yourself in the most weird situations, you're the one that's going to suffer the most. Like, honestly, when it comes to this type of topics, when I'm talking about like sacrifice and obeying God, I always come back to the story of Abraham and Isaac. Yo, if God would tell me that, I genuinely, like, I would just be looking at God like, dang. Like, I know a lot of Christians would have been thinking, maybe I'm second guessing myself. Maybe it's the devil. It could not be God. After all these years, God has granted me a child, and he's asking me to now give up that same child. Like, God, come on now. Do you get what I mean? And, yo, it's such a dilemma, because what Abraham did, it's that point of Christianity I hope everybody can come to. Is that point where you come to where even if it does not make sense, even if you're reluctant to do it, just because God said so, you're doing it. And that's a point of faith, y'all. It takes time. But it takes most of all willingness to get up to that point. Because the people that have been Christians like their whole life and they don't have that willingness to do what they need to do. Like, you're saying you want to get close to God. Are you reading your Bible? Are you meditating on his word? Are you praying? Are you worshiping him? Are you doing your praise and worship? Are you spending time with him? Are you getting rid of the things that are worldly and inviting more of the things that are of the word of God? You have to ask yourself these questions. And once you see the answers, you got to analyze yourself. This is not to condemn you, because we all go through stuff. In this life, we all go through stuff. It's not always going to be easy. There are going to be some struggles. It's going to be tough. There are going to be challenges. But you have God with you for a reason. So make use of the fact that you have the Lord beside you. Make use of the fact that, I don't know what to do, but I have God with me. He has good plans for me, and things are going to work out for my own good, but I need to do my part. Like, you can't have a conversation if two people are not talking to each other, okay? It's just not possible. A conversation is where two people talk to each other, or multiple people. Do you get what I mean? It takes the effort of two people. So in a relationship, it takes the effort of two people to keep that relationship going. And I know, like, obviously we need to have that reverence towards God and stuff like that, but I feel like people kind of like fail to realize, like, I mean, God loves you, God speaks to you, but if you choose to ignore him, how do you think that makes God feel? Like, wow. How do you think that makes God feel? He loves you so much, he's trying to talk to you, and you're just ignoring him. You know those nudges that you get like every once in a while, those nudges that God be giving you as warning signs, or just to tell you, like, look, I'm talking to you, and you're like, I'll get to it, or maybe not now, maybe later, or whatever the case might be. And then eventually, before you know it, time flies by and you still haven't listened to what God had to say. Like, y'all, yeah. Honestly, if there's one thing you can take away from this, first of all, include God in all that you do, like in every single thing. Like, if you think about all those little 5 minutes that you take out, like every couple of hours throughout the whole day, and you're intentional about it, trust me, that does so much more for you than if you just take time, like once in a whole month, to spend time with him. Take the little steps. It might not feel like anything, but once you see the results as time passes by, you'll be so, so grateful. And on top of that, you need to be able to make the necessary sacrifices, because Christianity is all about sacrifice. Jesus Christ sacrificed himself for us. Like, hello, like, you're going to have to sacrifice stuff. If it wasn't for the fact that, like, what God had asked of Abraham was a test, Abraham would have sacrificed Isaac. That was a sacrifice he needed to make. And it's something that you can also see in a metaphorical sense, in the sense of God asking you to, like, maybe sacrifice that time that you would spend on watching that favorite show of yours, to, like, spend time with him. Because at the end of the day, all of this is vanity. It's nothing, honest. It's nothing. It's literally nothing. Are you willing to do that? And the more you take those steps of willingness to be able to do what God is asking you to do, even when it pains you, even when it low-key annoys you maybe, or you're just like, oh, I have to do this. Once you do it, and you're intentional about it, and you see God working, and you just feel his tangible presence, and you see the change, trust me, the next time God would even have to ask you, you're gonna be leaping at the first chance to be able to be in his presence again. There's a reason why his word tells us to dwell in his presence. There's a reason why the Lord tells us to spend time with him, meditate on his word. There's so many scriptures throughout the whole Bible that truly dwells on, like, the importance of meditation on his word, the importance of spending time with him, taking time to be with him, to be in the secret place. How many times did Jesus go out just to be alone, like, with God? How many times? Countless times. So you need to ask yourself this question: am I really ready to give up everything for God? Everything. Like, completely, as a whole. If I'm not mistaken, John 3 verse 30, more of you, Lord, and less of me. That's the whole point. You were not put on this earth to just be enjoying, the things that are honestly doing your spirit way more harm than good. You're not put on this earth for that. You were put on this earth for a purpose. And like I said, there will be challenges. There will be challenges. But will you use them as an excuse to indulge further in the things of the world? Or will you use it as a stepping stone to get closer to God? Ask yourself that question. And allow it to just marinate in you. Not gonna lie, it's something you really always need to, like, talk about as well as think about. This whole week I was just like, God, I'm just trying to get closer to you, help me to get closer to you. And I kid you not, God was like, you know what to do, so do it. So I'm like, child, okay then. Whoa, you didn't have to come for me like that. Whoa. Okay, I get it. Dang, I get it. Oof. Like, no. You know that type of thing where you're, like, asking God for something, and I just know God's just looking at you like, you're asking me for this, but it's literally in your hands. Do something with it. Like, yeah, boom. So I took it to action, and I decided to just, switch up some things, and yeah, end up spending a bit more time with God. Obviously, because I'm a student, I'm, spending my time studying a lot, and I listen to music, and especially to podcasts while studying. So what I did was just switch up the podcasts with Christian podcasts, and allow my spirit to be edified as I'm studying, which really helped. Like the difference in only doing that was crazy. Like even, or like for example, once I was doing my prayers, I just noticed that slight shift, but it was so satisfying because I was like, it was not necessarily like I felt like there was something wrong before making that change when I was praying. But when you make little changes, that improves your spiritual life, improves the way you move as a Christian, you notice it. Like maybe when you're doing it at the moment, you might not notice it, but eventually in like your other activities, you end up noticing it. For example, if you've always been eating unhealthy junk food, obviously the first day where you stop eating the junk food, you're like, well, there's not much difference. The only thing I'm missing now is good food, basically, like food that tastes good. But if you keep doing that for some couple of days, like weeks, you notice like, ooh, I'm starting to feel better. My face is more clear. My body is starting to get a little bit more in shape. That fat I used to have, it's going down little by little. And it's kind of the same thing with like God too. And for example, it has been a personal conviction of mine for the longest time to honestly keep the worldly music to a minimum, if not just quit it all. But as ambitious as that is, I knew I had to take it step by step. I had to take it step by step. So honestly, God has been helping me. All glory be to God. And what I would do is like just make sure that I just don't have any worldly songs downloaded. First of all, just not download it at all, so that when I'm outside, if I want to listen to music, I have no choice but to put on my Christian music. Because the thing is, my playlist slaps. I don't even know like what the problem is. It slaps. Like I got my R&B section, I got my hip hop section, I got my worship section, I got my powerful song section. Dude, I got a whole library of different genres, all in like the Christian category. So I'm like, what's the problem? But that's where the flesh comes in, because the flesh like, ooh, I see you've made this ready. I will make you like still find some way to listen to worldly music. So that's why you have to make sure you really cut off any door that might open up advances for the flesh to come through. Either way, yeah, that's what I did too. And I also just tried to like find more songs that really fit my taste, and find obviously like good Christian songs. Like for example, I love R&B and hip hop. Like those two genres, yeah, that's it for me. That's it for me. So I decided to like look for a whole multitude of Christian R&B songs and Christian hip hop songs and really refresh my playlist. And once I did that, I really noticed how I would just voluntarily go back to the playlists to listen to songs. For example, like when I wake up and do my morning routine, get ready, I always put on music. So I decided to like switch that up a little bit more. Or for example, have like a kind of like thing where I first make sure I listen to at least 3 Christian songs before I even think of switching up to any other worldly song. And taking those little steps has really helped me significantly to kind of like take like a whole 500 steps away from worldly songs. So obviously I still listen to them from time to time. It's still a journey, but it's definitely better than like last year, for example. And as you take those conscious steps and you invite God in those steps that you're taking to get closer to Him, you be getting better and better. So yeah, God bless y'all as y'all have listened to this. I really hope y'all were able to take something away from this. And even if you do not share the same faith as me, I know there's still something that you can take away from this, which is to just, honestly, just be intentional. That's also just a thing just in general. I feel like not only with your faith, but like other endeavors, like be intentional when it comes to your studies, to work, relationships, communication, yourself as a person. Be intentional. You only have one life on this earth, so it's very important that you make the most out of it. Either way, I don't know why, but my camera got heated and I got a notification, so I wasn't able to continue filming on there. But I wanted to make sure to say these last parts before I forget it, because by the time it cools down, you best believe that a girl will not be thinking of what she was supposed to say at the time. So yeah, either way, that's a little bit it for the session. I don't even know what to say. I'm really excited to see how it goes. I'm really excited. Like, let's just see where it goes. I really can't wait to see what y'all think about it. And I just pray that God opens up your heart to receive this word. And the book that I'm reading currently for this month is The Bait of Satan by John Bevere. I wanted to say written by, but just say by to at the same time. So that's why I just like glitched for a second. And the show that I'm watching at the moment is A Different World. I might expand on that in another video when I'm just filming it through my normal camera, but we'll see. But honestly, it takes place in like college, in a Black college, and it honestly teaches you just a lot just about life. It expands on so many different topics just in life in general, and up till now it has just taught me so much, and I truly love the show. It's a classic apparently, and I've always seen like different edits from Dwayne and Whitley, with Dwayne and Whitley, and they're such a cute couple. And I remember when I was watching those edits, I was really like, wow, they're such a cute couple. And whenever I find the time, you best believe I'm gonna watch whatever show they're in. So once I finally found the time to just watch the show, I just went for it. I didn't look back, and I just went for it. And honestly, it's really nice because I honestly feel like I have an old soul. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm really just more into some of the things that are deemed as, old and just like boring and old school. That's just me. I just love stuff like that. And yeah, it's not much I can do about that. No, it's nice. And the thing is, it's just like 23 minutes each episode. So it keeps you going. This is nice. It's a vibe, y'all. Because the thing is, like, if you want to take a quick break from studying, or you just want to take a quick break in general, it's really nice to just just watch it. And before you know it, you probably just finished one season. In total, there are 6 seasons. And yeah, I really love it. I really love it. I will say that for me personally, I did end up like getting more accustomed to the show, like loving it a little bit more, like from the second season. From the first season, I just felt like, okay, it's interesting, I guess. But from the second season, I did feel like more of the other characters started getting more depth, in my personal opinion. So yeah, that's it for the update. And there will be a video coming up with different books that I've been reading, because what I've been doing also just in general with like music, getting closer to God through music. I've also been trying to do that with my reading, because I love reading. Like in one of my earlier videos, I had already indicated that, because I made a whole video dedicated to reading, like to books. And honestly, I just started having that conviction to really focus more on Christian nonfiction, as well as just normal spiritual books, to really be able to get closer to God. Because nowadays, I'm not gonna lie, books are getting intense, especially with romantic scenes. I'm like, dang, it's not that deep. Let's not go there. So I just want to be able to read a book without getting stressed of just reading some scenes that I just don't want to be reading. And to also just like be reading books where I know like, okay, the plot is giving, is nice, but it's also edifying because it's showing me something like regarding Christianity or regarding God. And that's obviously what I'm just trying to have, because like I said, include God in everything you do. And yeah, that includes everything, and like I said, I love listening to music. I love reading books. So obviously I'm trying to include God in that, and that takes conviction, that takes the willingness, as well as discipline and consistency. But the most important thing is that you ask God's help for it, and He will help you with the rest. So yeah.